Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. So again, there's a lot of scams that they engage in. One of the things they engage in is the idea of throwing an investigation, or not investigation, I guess part of an investigation, an operation, throwing one operation in a larger investigation because it presents exculpatory information. Again, a psychological investigation. So what they'll do is when exculpatory information presents itself, they will cause the person to see them and speak about that. Like, oh, I know who that is, or I know what that is. And they go, well, that disqualifies it. So what that does is it doesn't really help the case per se, but what it does is it keeps it going. Because when they come into a community, again, when I lived in Naples, Florida, they all got free vacations in Naples, Florida to begin with. And probably today, they probably all have houses in Florida, or at least condos. Begin to see how it all works around the same way I've been speaking about for decades. Or actually, for about a decade and a half, I guess. So what they're doing is they're just continuing that capability to go into the person's life and psychologically torture them into at least what appears to be psychological issues, but over time, it's going to take, and they know that. And then what happens is they watch or have snitches watches or having the police officers watch and say, okay, let us know when he gets a friend, let us know. And then there's a problem. So over time, officers begin to realize what this is about. Okay, if he gets anywhere in life, we screw him and then we get something. Or she or whoever it is. They, them. No, we, us is in a separate category completely. We will make them in our image. Us, we. Oh my God, this is getting scary. What that was about, as I was saying in the morning. Well, I'm stuck in a body. I wasn't supposed to be in a body. I'm probably going to do more work from the sky. And some people say I did. But now I'm in the body. Well, I'm a voice. And they call us gods at times. But again, if you study religion, and not all religion, and not all people in any religion I focus on, because it's not true about any religion. Everything is so jumbled and mumbled and, distorted. But if you study like Srila Prabhupada on what a god is actually a servant of the Most High God. What does that mean? It means everything else. It's the same thing. Again, to me, you tell, okay, he's a servant of the Most High God. So who is a prophet? A servant of the Most High God. What's a king supposed to be? A servant of the Most High God. What's the guy on the street supposed to be? A servant of the Most High God. So again, what's in your head is all the bullshit that this planet put in your heads. That's why you can't read the scriptures. One of the problems is this, and it's that same thing where they keep coming back and keep doing something. There are women involved. And growing up, I never knew this. I probably didn't know this until I was over 40. Women actually project sexuality. I mean, it's a metaphysical operation. It connects to your metaphysical receptors. And it's like, woo, if they have that ability. Again, Jezebel, Delilah have that ability, including the whore of Babylon. Because what they're saying is the whore of Babylon is all the above, into one. So you're saying if God was with you, but you're a person in a church that's a devil, all of you. And you're telling me that you have some big ability that the scriptures speak about. They will look like ministers of righteousness. Well, years ago when I read that before I woke up, it was like, they all look like angels of light, or Satan looks like angels of light. But again, of course they could. I've seen that before. And ministers of righteousness. I actually thought they were sinless because that's how the church presents it. Or no, that's how I present it. How the church presented it is that they're not sinless. They have hidden sin. It doesn't say that. But they do, of course. The metaphysical. The thing that we wrestle against. So again, angel, they're trying to mess me up. Satan appearing as an angel of light. We'll whammy him in a second if they don't get away. And his minion appearing as ministers of righteousness. And that goes across the board to whoever they are, whether they're in government, in the military, because the way religion has expanded. Corporations, so on and so forth. I used to believe, because the way the church teaches it, is that they had regular physical hidden sin. But not really. That's deception. Because once you understand that sin is going to happen regardless of what happens on this planet, then, because they took it forward, the disciples took it forward and said, wait a minute, sin is going to happen. And it's almost, in other words, it's not to embrace sin, but get over the fact that there's sin existing, because it's just going to exist. But woe unto that scandalon. Now, in the spiritual language God gave me, scandal on. So again, that's like a whammy. But it's a Greek word that means the thing that you wrestle against, that makes you fall. Now, it says a trap. Again, sting operations are most likely, at least today, are most likely scandalon. Again, God can wink at things. Remember that. Because God can make all things well, new, and erase tears and all of that. And it sucks that you have to go through it here, but in the afterlife, God can take care of all of that. But once the inhabitants of this planet go past a certain point in manipulating it, beyond a certain percentage of the inhabitants, then there's an issue. And that's where we are now. Again, they're blindsiding God. I know you all understand that God is all-knowing, but that's God. All the way up there in God's abode, where God lives. So yes, if you study with Sridhar Prabhupada, what's a God? A God is a very devoted servant of God. That's how they generally will be elevated. God told me when I read some of that stuff, because you see it, right? You see it, right? If that was really my devoted servant, that person wouldn't do that. Or that being wouldn't do that. So is that really a God? God says mixed within the mythology of this planet are devils calling themselves God. Or gods, should I say, and God. So again, it's very convoluted. So what's the reality? What did I tell you from the beginning? You got to live real time with God. Now, if I tell you that, then you've made another step. The church will not actually tell you that. So you can't get to that step. Because I open it up and then Earth says, oh, you know something now because that man told you. So now we will teach you all of this. And, the mind of Earth, along with God, will teach you things. On Earth, it's really strange. And it actually, Satan, I think, created it, or had it created on this planet by wills and things such as that. because it almost disproves the ability to see. Oh, well, now your imagination's taking off because maybe saw something you thought you saw, that kind of thing. Satan spells, or I guess spells too, but Satan spends a large amount of time disproving seeing. So if anybody's praying for me and wishing well, the vertigo is kind of just now when I go horizontal. It could hit me for a quick bink. And that, I got to get to my physical therapy. I'm waiting for, I do this as a retiree. I'm very conscientious of how I affect the other people. I'm retired, so I don't need to go Monday morning and jam up the line that's already jammed up somewhere, which sometimes pops me out of where I want to be, but I'm very considerate because, people running there Monday morning, and I don't need to do that because I can go there Tuesday morning or Monday afternoon. So I haven't called my physical therapist yet. I'll wait a little bit, and then I'll schedule my appointments. I found a really nice place to live, but it's probably out of my price range where I should be. Again, the only thing worse than being house poor is being apartment poor because you never get anything out of it. I mean, it's a nice place. I would probably be happy living. It's clean. It's really set up nice. It's just a little far from the hospital. So about 12 minutes or something. It's just driving, and then the ambulance would probably be, about 6 minutes or something. That was really nice being here. When I moved in, I selected this place probably based upon what it cost, cheaper than the rest, which isn't true today, but it was. How you doing? So it was cheaper than the rest. Moved in, and I saw the hospital was over there. I'm like, wow, that was a good move. Well, people don't realize that. Even like real wealthy people, if the further you are from the hospital, less likely you're going to live. In some cases, though, the faster you get to the hospital, faster they're going to kill you. People in the ambulance might know more. So again, it's not 100%, but generally, the closer you are to the hospital, the better. For you, your family. Oh, man, are we moving here? I think my volume is stuck. Something's not looking right. All right, okay, it looks good. It's just the traffic. So again, humidity and all those type of things, and barometric pressure and all that, it alters the sound on how loud something sounds, and the wind, the way the wind blows. So I can walk by the same highway and have it be screaming loud or quiet. Now that may be a seeing event too. Everybody's going to work. It's louder. But what does that mean? It coincides with something. This is the weird part about seeing and how God communicates. Because sometimes there's no human form of comprehension to understand how it works, beyond that it works. People, the louder the highway is, the more likely people are evil, cursing each other. So, but that says the more in traffic, when there's traffic, people curse people a lot more. I never knew what curses were for at least 40 years of my life, probably 40, 41 or something. I don't remember exactly how old it was, each thing. But as soon as I had that, they drugged me. I had that reckless driving thing. I said, God, what happened? God says, this I know it's real, because I never thought of people cursing people. I thought about healing everyone, I'm like, I'm going to heal everybody, and they're cursing me while I'm healing people. That includes NYPD. So I'm healing everybody, and I'm getting cursed, and then I had that reckless driving thing because I was drugged. And I said, God, what happened? He goes, they curse you. I say, curse me? What's that? That's how I was, man. But when I was losing control of the car, I remember that part briefly. And it was like going side to side and everything. And I think did I go off into, I can't remember exactly where I was. I think maybe off the side of the road. I can't remember. And And the angel said, don't worry, no one will be hurt. We know that's what you're concerned about. Nobody will be hurt. And that's pretty much how it went down. Now there's angels all around. It's probably how you live through everything. Who's speaking to me? Get out of here. I got to speak myself right now. We can't speak to you. That's the guy on the other side. Listen. Yeah, they do gender changes in here. Who you're speaking to, it could be a woman, it could be a man. But then when I tried to figure it out and see it, I tried to make it a man and said you were wrong, or make it a woman and say you were wrong. So again, Satan's always trying to disprove the C. So the trick to the C and the healing is just have faith. So if I heal you, God may have had some vision that at 2:00 this afternoon, Satan was going to attack you. And then at 2:00 you drop down, but you don't drop down as far as you would have went if I didn't heal you. Or somebody else didn't heal you, that kind of thing. So again, Satan's spending all day disproving that stuff. So you have to have faith. Even more, when Jesus was here, it was a little more limited. Jesus snuck up on them because the establishment had corrupted so much that Satan's power into certain things had diminished and were moving in other directions. So Jesus comes along with all that, old-fashioned healing power and everything else, huge. And Satan didn't have enough defense. I guess Satan would see it as defense, but it's very offensive against healing. So again, it's an anti-world, an antichrist world. That's how they see things. Like healing is bad because you're healing the wrong people, that kind of thing. What I'm thinking happened is the same thing that happened the first time for that credit card thing. That it didn't. I'm not sure yet. I have to give it a day or two because there's no. Well, I looked on TransUnion and there's nothing that says. Isn't that funny, TransUnion? we got TransUnions everywhere now. Starbucks even has a TransUnion. That's why God loves me. I laugh at all this stuff. Foreshadowing. Biggest union on earth, trans. They wanted me to lose my place, and I did there with the attack. See where I was. Look, I'm going to try without, trying to curse them into hell. See if I get my thought back. It usually works. Sometimes God will do it. Sometimes I'll do it. God will say, okay, wait a second. I'll take care of it. God will start messing with their head, and they'll be like, remove your curses. They do the curses, and then, there's the thought. God told me, I think it was John. Was it John on Patmos? I think it was in the Bible. That when they sealed up a thought, God said, well, it worked, so I let it go. But he was supposed to have that thought. So again, the voices are a very scary thing, and Paul predicted that they would fail. Everything would fail. But it doesn't mean, that it's not useful in some way. All scripture is useful. All gifts are useful to a certain degree, but you can't bank. Again, if we were all charitable, it would work. Now, what is God doing with that? The place we come from, we're all charitable. That's our heart. Our heart's a charitable heart. So what do? So God's trying to translate, like that Christian guy, but he's not like that Christian. I guess he was like that Christian guy. They killed him, didn't he? So again, is Jesus God? Jesus was indwelled by God. Now remember, this is one of your attractions to kill me, actually. And make me gay and everything else. Believe me, those women project and try to cross-wire people. Whatever they want to need. Again, Again, that's weird. Yeah, there's so much science, religious science around energy and power that comes from God and how it's distorted on the planet. I probably have the highest level of knowledge, but if you get to Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, he had some of the knowledge. Everybody is seeking God. This actually helps neutralize the idea to get really, again, the church is very rarely hating, loving the sinner and hating the sin. They really don't. The inside is much different. Some of it's self-preservation, and that's okay, but you will have too much self-preservation. And that's how you end up with trillionaires and billionaires and millionaires and all that. And it's okay to be one if God has you there, but again, it's very suspect based upon what Jesus said. You could be it, but I mean, as far as, I guess you could be it. Let's say if Elon Musk had a really good heart. I mean, obviously he's revealed himself. It's just like everyone else trying to play his game out. That money could do well just based upon his thoughts. That's why they give me no money, because my thoughts are well enough to fix it. No, I wouldn't curse people if I had a normal life. I could stay one step ahead of them, because that's how Earth is wired. Because they're trying to kill me and make me crazy all day long when they can. Again, if they're nervous about it or somebody's blocking it or whatever it is, that is no indicator of what they would do in the absence of that. The thoughts are continually evil. So the powers and the energies on this planet are shifting people in different directions. And if everybody is actually seeking I told you every atom and molecule is God, because nothing can exist without God. That's a fact. If you believe anything else, then you're stupid, all of you. You're stupid at me. I got to curse myself. God just showed me something when I said that. So if that's true, or that is true, but we go to what Srila Prabhupada says, that everything is made up of the energy of God. And when it's matter, it's a lower energy of God. And why is that? I have actually additional information based upon the Higgs boson and quantum physics. Is mixed with our energy, our physical energy. And our physical energy is going against the will of God. So, but that is there. So if somebody is using a narcotic, they're seeking God's energy because it's in that narcotic. But why do they see the narcotic energy and not maybe serving mankind energy? Well, this is, God just threw a thought in while I was speaking, and I've spoken on this before, that may be their service to mankind. Metaphysically. Why are they there? Sacrificing themselves so you won't use drugs. There's a certain number of people on this planet that have to use narcotics based upon the curses, the downs, the hates, the wills that go against God. Why is that person homeless? Same thing. Now, I feel that way, but I can't continue to help my former neighbor beyond a certain point. One, I'm limited on financial income. Number two, she has to go take care of something. I mean, she can't make me her enemy. It got so bad that I would get her a ticket and then she'd turn me off on the phone. We wouldn't have no further conversation. And sometimes it'd be, hating on me, and then blocking me or something because I say something, it's obvious. Right? Again, that comes from her mother and what she did to her. It's kind of how our mother treated her, and that's why she ended up on the street. And she does embellish, but she did end up on the street. She did have a bad life, and she has harmed people, and I know all of that stuff. However, when she was in Santa Fe, it was a little bit more stable. She would have never thought of doing that. So at a certain point, even though I know she's homeless and can't control herself, not by her own. All right, they're cursing. Now they want me to believe she's cursing. So what they do is they curse me harder when she's angry at me. She can't curse me. If she's in that life, she can't curse me. What? No, she can't. Not me. Because then you would say, no, she can't. She's not. So again, she's altered to look like the bad person. Meanwhile, there are people out there that cause that in her life. They caused it and they cause it and will cause it. And what they do is they increase the curse while she's yelling at me. So they have a face person. That's what these devils that I speak about, these spycraft operators, are not best at, but that's their favorite, to make it look like someone else. And that's why you get people going into Walmart and shooting them up. But some of them do work in Walmart in our part of Walmart. Thank you. All right, this is not working. I have no idea what all of a sudden happened. I have no idea what's happening here. Unless it's this battery cable. My good battery cable disappeared really quick. So they do curse this stuff real heavy. If I get a bigger apartment, it'll be easier. And people are thanking me while I'm speaking. I'm open, I'm listening. Again, I have to receive your response to what I'm doing to see all the metaphysical connections, to realize how to undo it and fix it, or condemn the planet for it. And or, I guess. Sometimes they'll thank me, and then they'll actually be devils, and they'll try to take my thoughts. That really happens. That's how it works. I mean, again, you can find something physically doing it, but there's ways around it. And it's amazing that I can walk and be cursed and sweat and broadcast at the same time. So she's not responsible for what's happening in her life. But even though she's a victim, if she starts to victimize me beyond a certain point, I have to move back. And she really does need to contact something. It can't even, like, people used to not contact the government programs because they smoked marijuana. Like in Texas, they don't let you smoke marijuana on those programs. So you have a lot of homeless people that won't take advantage of things. But in Connecticut, that's not a problem. So again, they did abuse her. They do abuse me. They did abuse me. So I understand that part. But I'm not like nobody's helping me like I'm helping her. And I wouldn't do that to somebody that helps me. Right? I mean, my mother and I had words back and forth, but my mother, she caused that in my life. She caused a lot in my life. And, I just accept it. And I was trying to say it the other day. She's my former neighbor in Santa Fe is same as my mother. I mean, there's no real friendship there. I'm kind of her enemy. She makes me her enemy. Nobody else will make her enemy, so it's me. But she's same as my mother. Mother did the same thing. I guess them in their head. And, I tell my mother, it's not you. I know it's not you. They're in your head. They're possessing you. And it would work over a short period of time. It would go well. Till I told her I was going to go meet some woman. And she went nuts. So I'll be back. I said, I can't take care of you alone. That's what I told my mother. I said, I need somebody with me. I'll help them. They'll help me. And we'll help you. Kind of a reciprocation of life. I just got a blip from that woman the other day. I have no idea where her life is. Hopefully she's not a prostitute. We were trying to head her off from being a prostitute. And she had a kid. The guys in Colombia were taking advantage of her and her sister. Her mother apparently was a prostitute, an official prostitute. A guy came from the United States. Her mother got married. She said, bye. So I was trying to actually get them over here, both of them, and make it work. And she had a child, so How was I going to get? Oh, she could. No, I was going to actually try to. Again, with the, what's that thing called? You get that one visa for the parent or for the children. I guess they were too old for that. I'd have made it work. I was going to go live in Colombia for like 6 months at the most and try to make it work for them. And if it worked, we would get married and all that. I got a blip from her. Interesting. Well, I don't care who someone has. It's who we can become together. That's the kind of was my theory. But again, there are limitations because of our physical bodies. Like a knife going into my chest. I had my first wife attack me with knives all the time. And I guess she was out there working against me, telling people it was me. I mean, I was like any other husband. I may have said the wrong thing here or there, right? But, there are limitations on how we respond to that. Right? And she was awakened so much. She had the power, really. Now I know. I didn't know that. So again, I would love to help her, but it just gets to the point that I've already spent 400 and then she like within a half hour of me not responding, she'll like start ripping me apart. And of course she blocks me for 2-3 days. So again, no, this is a lover spat. That's what they try to put. There is no real love. I just care about people, and I have responsibilities. If God tells me to watch out for somebody, I do that. But there are limitations. With what my mother did to me, I should have never even saw her again in my life. In reality, I should have got a lawyer and sued her. So I did a great benefit for her, helping her. I do shopping like almost every night for her, and they use that to set me up somewhere. Like a woman would get my. This is how it works in Walmart for buff bodybuilder Larry. When I was younger, you go in. And a woman's going to notice you. If she's alone, she might think about you and start connecting to you. That's natural. That's normal. And they're not supposed to do that at Walmart, but the bosses have sex with the employees at Walmart, so don't listen to them. Again, it wouldn't be for sexual purpose. So then they come in and they start asking the woman about me. Because, I'll notice her and she'll notice me and they'll notice a connection. So like ignorant assholes in reality, the cops come in and go, well, what about this? What's going on here? Oh, I don't know who he is. Actually, we're supposed to have female voice. I can only whisper a female voice. Of course, that's what they're going to say. And they're going to play along with whatever they say. All these like wonderful stories on the internet, how people meet. The government comes in and says, "Oh, it's in." All right, it might be the government. All right, that might be them. I'm not sure why I'm losing. But they're cutting grass here. Get away from the grass! It's the big allergen right now. Grass pollen flying with the blades. But all those wonderful stories of how two people meet in some chance meeting and other things, the government destroys that in my life. Where if I got with it, because that's what God was creating, a very would-be romantic life if they would let it happen, so that the rest of my life would be normal like everyone else's. So again, when you do that to me, I realize what happened to my neighbor. It's very rare that somebody's responsible for their own homelessness. Again, if you're not causing that in someone else's life, then, again, if I curse you with the will of God, it's not going to effectuate outside the will of God. But if you curse me, and you can't say it because I know what you're all about. Again, It's the difference between the way I have carried myself and the way you all carry yourself in reality. Again, this what they want to call Christian nationalism. It's bullshit. It's not even Christian. It's Antichrist. It's taking what is God's and handing it to Caesar. Then Caesar gets the right to control all of that at that point. Again, I think I know what's happening on this thing. Oh, you gotta remember those cues. So again, if you're having trouble like writing a report for some case, somebody's cursing it. Doesn't mean it's the criminal. It could be your coworker sitting across the room. What the hell is it? Like, this is the weird part. Like, we're at work and we don't even know any of this. But there's people like Little Girl, Slickster. They're running around the office cursing everybody and watching them fail. Meanwhile, they're useless. Useless to the government, useless to the people, useless to themselves. But then they watch, oh, that person's choking on his lunch. That's what I wanted. His desk is dirty. That's the way they are, man. You walk into a house that's dirty, you should heal it. You shouldn't laugh at it. You shouldn't hate the people. Again, now we prosecute a lot of that. Say the children aren't being cared for. But who's doing that? The person that's charging them. Call it a gotcha. I mean, they imagine things in their head, and then they go after people. But Satan pays them. So again, it's willful ignorance, self-delusion. What time is it? How much longer I've been out here? I don't know if I'm going to do anything today. A lot of times you watch, I won't do much on Monday. Because I let other people have their Monday. Because they hate Mondays. And I know why. Because I'm retired. I can go on Tuesday. I can go on Wednesday. So people need to get in there today and get their lives taken care of. They get taken care of and I don't get in the way. Call it conscientious. So again, it just, because what's going to happen at this point, if I continue to do this, come, like fall, if she's still talking to me, I'm going to get a buzz. I need to get to someplace south. I'm freezing. I have to go south, that kind of thing. And it's just, she needs to get inside and she needs to relax and get someplace well. Connecticut is constantly telling me that all she has to do is come speak to us. They don't demand much or anything actually, but they don't even ask much. She's on disability. They see that there's a place for her in Connecticut, but if she's not going to move in that direction, then it's not going to work. And then I'll just be sitting here, and I don't mind the charity aspect of it, giving up $400 and something or whatever it is a pop. It's the idea that it's being squandered. And again, I don't think it was squandered up until this point. I felt like maybe it was happening, but as long as she moved to some place that would probably be a well place for her to live. And, Texas is, it was horrible in Texas for her. It was horrible in Georgia for her. I could tell. It's just not a place really to live. When you're getting older, those kind of environments can be a bit much humid and hot. Like here, it's kind of hot and humid, but there's a breeze today, so it feels better. These guys they're pretty regular with cutting the grass here. They do a good job. I don't know what the inspections are like. There are signs that they were trying to put this place out of business or force the owner to sell. I'm not sure. Again, even, in attacking me, what are they actually doing? Maybe trying to put this place out of business. Or force it to be sold to one of their people for pennies on a dollar. This is really what they're doing from government, private sector, church, etc. So there might be a person here that pays the cops to force other and private eyes to force other property owners to sell their properties pennies on the dollar because they can't make any money. Because they make sure they don't make any money. That's the real world. The rest is an illusion. And they go, well, why are we doing that? Because you're devils, demons, antichrists, witches, and sorcerers. And organized crime, racketeering, mob bosses, and captains, and lieutenants, and street soldiers, etc. You're cutting the grass in the background. So I don't know. I'm going to give it a little bit of time, and then I'm going to go looking around, I guess. They're out there trying to probably rent every apartment I looked at last night. I mean, in the real world, I just stung them and they're arrested. But of course, government doesn't do anything. That's real. That's a lot of what I thought I was doing, or we were doing. And maybe they wanted me to believe that, so I would maybe step over a line that they could use. I mean, but over time, it became this, it's so stupid. There was like no line that I step over, and they tried to use it. So there's an ex-CIA guy that's saying, or gal, I don't know who it is, they're saying that what I said about it all being an illusion and a psyop, the whole Russian rebellion, might be true. I mean, it makes sense that they're trying to reconstitute. You know, what that possibly does is draw. We don't know how many people may have been taken out by agreeing with the Wagner boss. I mean, I don't know the truth of it all. I mean, they have trillionaire cover, billionaire cover over what they're doing. So if I actually had $1 million, I could really see. Thank you. So again, he might be moving to Belarus to pick up that country for for the final death knell. He just all of a sudden, well, we came up with this idea. He will conscript people for the battle in Belarus. We're contacting their Bureau of Prisons right now. I think they did do away with that. I know they did away with some of it. Right. Oh, yeah. I just can't see Putin not taking him out earlier if it was true, like before it got to this. Somebody walk into his camp, go, poof. I guess it would be dangerous. People might try to kill him. I guess they're pretty loyal to him. Stuff like that, Rwanda, genocide. That's what those people are kind of around. So you got to be careful. Or their mindset is. Again, there is a spycraft genocide mind, and that is occurring. And that's why we have so much narcotics, so much crime, people of color having issue, people that are LGBTQ having issue, and Christians having issue. The world's being radicalized before our eyes. Look, they're all so upset so I'm not driving my my van around. Yeah, they love when I spend money on gas. So, aren't you going to go somewhere anymore? No, God says there's no place to go anymore. So again, I also healed their community while I was doing that. Pretty crazy, quote-unquote, mass shooting in Kansas City. I guess yesterday, I was kind of looking at it to see if I could see any signs. Haven't seen anything yet. And we're looking for, what's her name, Xochitl or something like that? I don't remember her last name. Don't see much there except she was cursed. Well, when I was looking at the photo, all of a sudden I could almost smell dung, poopy. And her whole image just became this, like, men that kill women, or even women that kill women, or even probably women that kill men. There's something in their head that Satan puts there that causes them to hate that person. How you doing? And it could be like a subconscious thing where they subconsciously smell poopy, dung, shit. Might as well say it. I say it enough, right? And it was like I was there with her, just in her life in that photo. And she just took on this weird appearance that wasn't her. It was Satan and the evil covering over her. So again, if she was harmed, that would be from the curse. Now, the weird part, if she was harmed, the person that harmed her may have been cursed also, into not knowing how to react to it. So, right, it's the same thing as like genocide. They would see her less than a human. So Satan causes these most murderers to see the other person less than human. Well, that grass is really getting me. But I withstood it pretty long. I thought I was going to come off my nasal steroid like a dummy a couple days ago. Like, I woke up. So that's not going to work right now. Maybe if I had a bigger place, a newer place kind of thing. Well, it's happening kinda. It's not 100%. But when you walk, your body, when you have the thing that I have, your body's supposed to resolve the issue almost itself. And it's kind of happening. All those years it didn't do a thing. So that's suspect. But again, it's stuck like that for so many years, and that was their hope. So it could be permanently damaged. Oh, they're sickos, man. There's no doubt from what I read, they put people in wheelchairs. Oh, who do we put in wheelchairs? Again, it's their bullshit delusion. They know to say that because they're causing things in people's lives using CIA-level technology in a very unlevel way. So again, I really like the area where the one place I found was, but again, I'm talking a rent of like $1,500, and then utilities another $100. And here I'm paying what? It's $1,250 for 28 days, and then I have to pay a couple more days. So that's like, between that, the mailbox that I have to maintain, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to anyway, but I still need it. The mailbox, my storage. So it's probably about $1,450. And the other one's kind of $1,500, $1,650, maybe $1,700. Probably closer to $1,700. So how you doing? So it would be quite a bit more. And I was hoping to actually go down a couple hundred if I could. And just really nothing. I mean, the place I found, the first place that denied me, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And God said they'll pay for it and are paying for it. Because God created that place for me to reside here in Kansas a few months after I moved in. So again, those things are happening. Now, if you're a millionaire, you might get away with it, or even a billionaire. But again, you all have to pay in hell for it. But the world isn't moving up. It's actually moving downward, even though your lives might appear to be moving up. Again, technology is stagnated if you haven't figured it out. That's how that happens. So where are we here? Gosh, they're getting cutting back here now. Move to the back of the property. Now they're back here. Like I used to cut my own grass and stuff, but and live in like places where it would just, it wasn't this. Like once I moved to Florida, it was like everybody big use of the landscapers. Like who they fooling? Who do you think the landscapers are? Immigrants. That's why they're going to Florida to get a landscaping job. I mean, they're all so full of shit. All the donors use all the Republican donors use immigrants, but they're that gross, that callous. They use immigrants, but they'll still diss off a certain percentage of the immigrants that they don't need. That's how they made their money. I thought Trump made his money. Immigrants still makes it off of the immigrants. Well, Biden's fake too, so we should vote for Trumpy. I don't know if that case is going to make it. I mean, like I told you, I care less if he goes to prison. Still a piece of shit whether he goes to prison or not. I mean, he really is. A devil piece of shit. Sellout. Money. It's never enough. I mean, can you imagine being a billionaire and being a money grubber? Money! Money! Precious money! That's Trump, man. He's an idiot. That's what he did. He sold us all out. Carrie Lake, work it, work it, work it, work it. That's what that is. That's what the agents did to me. Like I'm just like looking for somebody to date and fall in love with, and be walking around date, them and their snitches, their informants. I would call them informants if they were. I don't like calling them informants because some informants are real, so I'd rather call them snitches because they're pieces of garbage. They're not real. They're working people with methods that would cause anybody on the planet to fall. But by the grace of God, some of them stay up. But that's what I do. I'm trying to do my life, doing martial job. Work it, work it. Here comes the agent woman. Work it, work it. They didn't want to date. They wanted to screw me. They're like freaking devils, man. Jezebel, Delilah, the whores of Babylon. I mean, really, that's a violation of workplace requirements. Like I said, the Justice Department, my retirement's nothing compared to what they owe me. They can't say I owe them a single penny. Work it, work it. There you go. They're all going to say that today around them as they walk down the hallways. Work it, work it. But they think it's funny because they're in great life and being great life their whole life. And of course, then you have the Candace O. My life was so terrible. She's like the princess of the ghetto. I mean, she didn't have a bad life. Who's she fooling? She wouldn't be where, if she had a bad childhood, she wouldn't be where she is right now. And again, having one, you could be a millionaire and have the worst life your whole life and never get anywhere. It's all an illusion. But in her case, I'm sure she had a great life. I'm black and I was a poor person. Okay, that's why Satan did that. You're supposed to be white and a rich person in a rich family. We know where you all come from. Oh no, but she's getting rid of the gay people. I mean, they make that the focus. As long as you get rid of gay people, then you're holy. But yet, they're devils, man. They're causing the gay people. And again, if you're gay, that's your business. It's not mine. Now, everybody in the government knows I'm heterosexual and I want a woman. But they know that they get paid trying to make me gay. or get me to be a molester of some sort. No, not your regular pay, that extra sauce on top, wherever it comes from. Wait a minute, sexual favor? Like, if you study sexual language, you can really see a lot better. So again, what they'll do is they'll try to, by watching this person, whoever it is, they can sexually project at inopportune moments. Like generally, and again, it's possible for a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old to project sexually. And then if you have like 12 agents, 15 agents, and police officers and whoever else, PI, sitting there projecting with that, that's a dangerous concoction. But if they're watching you, they'll project their sexuality around and into a child. Now, I have the ability to see the difference. But some people may have been taken down so far, they can't even think. And that's what they're doing. They'll tell you, we have to catch the person off guard. We have to bring their true self out. But what they're doing is they're replacing the person's self with them, with their selves, and with Satan to possess the person into the crime. So again, Miss Work It is actually, that's her goal. It's to cause criminal sex or criminal sexuality. They tried to do it in Omar Mateen, but he became a mass shooter before they could finish it. I'm telling you, that's what they did. Similar operations what they try in my life. They're all liars. They knew how that works. Work it. So people that were sexual all their lives are out there telling you that they're holier than thou. And they're actually causing the sexuality. Oh, that road sounds very angry today. I wonder if something's going to happen. God won't let me heal it. Again, you brought that on yourselves, all of you. All right, we're just about an hour here. I'm going to stay on my feet at least for an hour. Of course, I'll still be on my feet, but not walking around in the great outdoors. I do have to get in my vehicle and go somewhere today, though, I think at a certain point. Maybe we're getting to that point. But what they're trying to do is to link me up with her. And that's why she's thinking about that a lot of times, that she comes here and lives a life with me. And, even if I had that kind of emotion, it's impossible. It would never last more than every other thing that she does because, the police would be involved. She's actually threatening me. But, again, I'm a big boy and I know she has issues and I try to help her. So again, if she was here, if there'd be no miles between us, and it would get herself in trouble. She could end up the rest of her life in prison or get the death penalty. I mean, it could be that bad based on what I see going on. One of those cases. So the government's spending all day trying to put us together by breaking both of our lives. I mean, they're very sick people, man. And a lot of them have very well lives and had it their whole life. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do.